Hello anybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Bros. 2 on the All-Star Pack. I'm Mr. Devious, or just Steve, and in the last episode, we completed World 3, and in this episode, we're starting on World 4. We've gone through the plains, and now we're coming back. Except we're not coming back, this is our first time in which we are going to the Tundra. So this is, well, I guess, the ice world of the game, the token ice world of the game. Although, like the desert world of World 2, it's sort of like the first instance in a Mario game where there actually was an ice world, even though this isn't a Mario game, whatever, that old argument. I've been talking about that over the episodes, though, so I won't weigh on it too much. These guys are flurries, and I do think they're probably, possibly, quite possibly the most annoying, dangerous enemy in the game. See, wow. Because of their movement patterns, they are simulating the sensation of them slipping on ice, and that's actually a really cool design detail that they did. How they animated their movements so it seems like they move without friction, and how they have momentum when they slide back and forth, and that was a really cool detail. But it also makes them really hard. They also makes them really fast and hard to gauge their movements. So one of the most memorable parts of this game, first we're just going to throw down this potion, because I want a mushroom. Mushrooms are good for you. I don't care what anybody else says, mushrooms are good. Mushrooms are a great topping on pizza, but anyway, one of the most memorable parts of Super Mario Bros. 2 is, of course, the rocket ship you pluck from the ground. How can you hate this? And already we have the boss music playing, so that was a short level now, wasn't it? Except we're slipping on ice, but this is not a conventional boss level. See, there is no Birdo in this section. This is a gauntlet of enemies, and this unique enemy that is known as an autocannon, I think, where Shy Guys ride these things and shoot fireballs at you. However, they won't shoot fireballs unless a Shy Guy is riding them, so you know that it's actually a Shy Guy piloting the machine. So that's a cool detail. If the fireballs ever get to be a bit much, just, you know, pick up a Shy Guy and throw it at the auto cannon. It's fine. Or an auto turret, or whatever these things are called. I'll put the name up, I think. So that already brings us to the crystal skull, which we will lift above our head. And that actually takes care of the first level. However, not all the levels in the Tundra are so quick. I think it's mostly just that one. Now, this next level that we are coming to, and I got 2 lives there, Luigi is not the ideal character to have for the first part of this level, but we cycle over to him, so let's play as him. World 4-2 is a very peculiar level, and we start in the underground crystal cavern of ice, and then just immediately come back out to a swarm of Bezos, and this is immediately why Luigi is not the best character to have for this section, is because he has to move and duck between these Bezos and dodge them, and his floaty jump means that he stays in the air longer, and it means he's more likely to get hit by these guys, as opposed to Mario or Peach, who would, in fact, have a much easier, not Mario or Peach, Mario or Toad, because of their quick hops. You can do quick hops with them, can navigate between those enemies more quickly. However, if you do what I did and just go at a walking pace with Luigi or Peach, you should be fine. Now, the second part of this level, which has whales! Whales and plants growing out of whales. Oh, okay, that's strange. The unique thing about this level is that with this section, there's a lot of precision jumping and a lot of careful jumping. So while this part of the level is good for Luigi and Peach, it's actually harder with Toad and Mario. So the first section is easier with 2 characters and harder with the others, and the second section kind of reverses that. So that's a cool detail. And if you die here, you can always, you know, just change over to Luigi or Peach if you're playing as Mario or Toad, but in the NES version of the game, you didn't have that ability. You had to stick it out with whatever character you picked at the start of the level. So if you got to here with Toad and you weren't able to make these jumps, well, good luck. And now I gotta cycle over to Toad, right after I talk smack with him. However, I am confident in that I can do this, and oh boy. Jumping on these tails in particular is very dangerous business, and I wouldn't recommend it, really. It's usually not worth it. No! Okay, we're gonna swaggle over to Peach. We just instantly lost a couple of our lives. However, now that we're over to Peach, this should be pretty simplistic. I mean, it's Peach. The whole point of her character is that she makes these sections easy. I'm not gonna be stubborn and just stick with Toad if I know I'm gonna die. So, interesting thing about the Tundra is that this is the only world of its kind in this game. It is the only ice world, and that seems to be a trend I notice, is that games with ice worlds will usually only have one. Is that just me, at least in the early games? Like, some games will have multiple desert levels, multiple plains levels, but usually there's only one token ice level. And this ice level I actually really like a lot because it has some of the most memorable levels in the game for me. I've played through these levels quite a bit, so they are pretty strong in my memory. And we have a Shy Guy here riding on an autocannon. However, I'm gonna go back down, except I can't because I used the rocket ship, so I need to figure out my plan of attack. Well, what you want to do is just get rid of the Shy Guy and then ride the autocannon. Get these cherries, get the star, and if you're quick enough and get in here, jump up, you can fly into that Birdo with a star and instantly kill it. Usually I'm not one for killing bosses like that, but there are so many Birdos in this game. I felt that was definitely worth showing off. Again, red Birdos just shoot fire and eggs, so it wasn't particularly special battle. I mean, I felt it was alright. I mean, if you disagree, say as much. If you get triple sevens on the slot machine, you can actually get 5 lives at once, so that's pretty cool. Now we're cycling back to Mario for one of my most favorite levels in the game. It is interesting to note that in the Game Boy Advance port version of this game, when you played the lottery, you could actually put all of your coins into one bet, and then if you won the slots on that round, it would just multiply your winnings. So if you bet 15 coins, got 1 cherry, you'd get 15 lives. It was pretty cool. And we have a Birdo right here at the start of the level. What is a Birdo doing here? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, don't kill it. In fact, just ignore it for the moment, and just take the potion over to here where it's safe. Where there's just these mounds of... What the hell are these things, anyway? They're like... I'm actually curious what these things are. Are they supposed to be like tundra plants, or cartilage? I don't know. So, in actuality, you don't want to kill this Birdo. I will pelt her with a couple plants, because why not? In fact, this perplexed me when I was younger, but the game is a little bit of a puzzle here, in that it makes you ride her egg across the ocean. That is really cool. Your hints for that are supposed to be that if you go to the right, the camera won't stop panning to the right, and you have nowhere else to go, really. And from there, I think there was another mushroom there. No, there's not. Yeah, your hints are that, you know, if you go to the right, the camera won't stop panning, right? And I mean, there's a Birdo at the start of the level. On top of that, if you kill her, you don't get anything, so you have to leave the room, come back, and she'll respawn. So that's one of the nice things, is that because of respawning enemies, you can't really get yourself into a fail state and have to kill yourself, thankfully. Flurries are particularly dangerous in this fortress level, because they will drop on you from up above with their slippery momentum. And then there are spikes, and then death. I like how from a design perspective they also made the girders in the background of this fortress blue, because it's the ice world, I guess, and it's pretty cool looking, I guess. You know, little design things like that. They're very small touches. I never really noticed it until my most recent playthroughs, but I say that a lot, but it's true, because, well, I haven't really played this game in a long time before I did this LP. I mean, I downloaded the NES version on the Virtual Console, but that's a vastly different game. The NES version doesn't have highly detailed backgrounds. It's just usually blank, solid colors. So this is a really cool thing, is that this brings you up to the top of these turrets. You can climb up to the turrets of this castle, or these fortresses, because you learn that this isn't just one fortress, you have to deal with 2. Although they're not as tall or menacing individually as the fortresses of previous levels. Also, the idea that when you went to the desert world, World 2, their representation of a fortress was an underground pyramid. So, you know, touches like that, they get me. So that's also a pretty cool thing, is that you have to carry the potion up there if you want to get yourself a mushroom. Now, how do you get past the spikes, the drills? You ride the Shy Guy. Yay! Nothing really much to do here except wait for the Shy Guy to get past here. the Game Boy Advance version of this game, also there's some cherries here, there were advanced coins that you could collect, like 5 coins throughout the level, kind of like the Yoshi/Dragon coins from Super Mario World. You want to go in this door, by the way, because there is a Phanto key, and 2 infinitely cycling flurries if you don't do that. But yeah, there were advanced coins that you could collect. There were 5 in each level, and they usually position these coins in difficult places, like up there where I was riding on the Shy Guy, there was like a flat platform to the left of the pit that would have been hard to get to. They would have put a coin there. I don't know what the coin reward for getting all the coins are. I haven't actually got them all. I'm actually playing through it right now also, just to see what kind of differences are in the advanced version of the game. And some of them are pretty interesting. The characters talk a lot. Every time they get a cherry, they're like, lucky! Every time they get a thing, they're like, just what I needed! Funnily enough, that's not a bottomless pit down there. You can stand down here, I mean, but that's a waste of time. So, the advanced version of this game, I don't think is the best version of this game. I think I would leave that to the All-Stars version. We got a Bezo over there, but I don't think there's anything over to the right. No, I'm not going to test it, even though it seems like the camera would pan farther to the right. We have all 4 hearts, and once you get all the 4 hearts, there aren't really many other secrets to look for. Now, this is interesting that they just give you the crystal, and then plop you right in front of this mouth, and that will bring us to the 4th boss in the game, Fry Guy. Fry Guy is too hot to touch. You can't stand... I mean, if you think about it, you can't touch any of the bosses in this game. Whereas you can stand on Birdo's head and other enemies' heads. These guys, the bosses, you can't even stand on them. But Fry Guy isn't as hard as I remember. He was always one of my most... he was always one of the most challenging bosses to me growing up, but... And he killed me. But I think he's actually a lot easier in the advanced version. Gotta switch over to Toad, and he's gonna steal Luigi's kill. However, if you play your cards right and you stay up here, even if you go down there, it's not too hard to dodge between his fireballs. And he might come up to the top, but... Oh, I am not performing well. However, if you're careful and just kind of not do what I'm doing, you should be fine. Oh! And that's what happens when you slam the 3rd block into Fry Guy, is he will explode into 4 tiny Fry Guys. However, I didn't mean to slam it into him there, and then he exploded all over and just kind of, you know, killed Toad. I say this boss isn't that hard, but I've died twice to it already. And it's not that hard, of course, if you know, take your time and follow its patterns, which is a very easy pattern to follow. Although he does kind of arc differently when he moves, like he won't always follow the same loop. Like sometimes he'll go a little higher or a little lower. However, when you hit him the 3rd time, you'll split into these fireballs, so the fight is not over yet. And this can be one of the more dangerous parts of the fight if you actually go down there and fight them one-on-one. Or you can just clear them all out with a good hit. Oh, this one is aggressive. And that takes care of that. And Peach falls into nothing. So this is the next kill for Peach. I mean, the next boss kill for Peach. And with that, we are going to go through the door and finish up this level. No slot machine. Alright, so that was actually a really efficient episode, I think. We got through all of World 4, and we saw what made it unique, the Tundra. We're not going to see another ice level in this game, and it's one of my favorite ice worlds in gaming. So, yeah, that was fun. For me, at least. I hope it was fun for you. Alright, so if you want to see World 5 and where this game could possibly go from here, and the game actually start to get really hard, then I just hope to see somebody in the next one. Bye-bye.